we've like dropped quite a lot of the gimmicks that maybe like would have held us back before. You know, like using backing tracks to such a big degree. Like it's a thing that everybody kind of does now. We've kind of dropped quite a lot of that, and now it's all like about the live experience and having like, oh look, if I want to extend a section of a song by like 4 minutes to have engagement with the crowd, we can do that and we can have fun with it. And that's really it's really just been all about getting good as a band.
Roz of Cold Years, thank you so much for your time today. You guys recently finished, a US run. A UK run. How are you doing? How'd it go?
Good. Excited to go back on tour again, I think is probably how I'm doing. It feels weird coming home and sitting at home. I kind of just want to go again. So yeah, good.
Yeah. And you'll be busy enough. I think the next shows are in less than a week from now. So you'll be busy this summer.
Yes, we have some shows with Bayside next week, and then a run with Billy Talent the week after, and then we start flying out to Europe for festivals for a busy summer, and then we go back to Europe for like 3 weeks in the fall to do some more shows. So pretty excited.
Yeah, good stuff. Now, usually I talk to people, as a new album is coming. In this case, we can look back at an album that came out roughly a month ago as we're talking. Now that you've had time not only to digest this release, but also already play some of those shows and get, the instant feedback, if you will, that a crowd can give you. Am I talking to a very different Ross now than if I were to talk to you before the release? Like, how for you is that emotional roller coaster, if you will, before and after an album coming out?
It's been amazing because we didn't expect people to come to these shows, so we just played knowing all the words to the new songs and asking for new songs. So it was a pretty incredible experience, and I feel even better about it now, having played a couple of shows. We have a couple under our belt of what the rest of the year is going to have in store for us now. I think the new record's gone down pretty well, and it was a big risk for us to take because it's a very different album for us, but yeah, people are snapping it up, so I'm really happy.
If you look at how people are, commenting as well, it's been very positive, and you said yourself, like a little bit of a different direction, and you guys are definitely wearing your influences on your sleeves, and that can be a bit of a gamble. But so far, if you look at people's reaction, it's more like, oh, this is the music I wish other bands would have been making in the last 10, 15 years. Was that a big, weight off your shoulders moment when you start, releasing those first videos and seeing that people are not giving you shit like, oh, well, I've heard this kind of music from, when I was a teenager, I heard this music before, so I'm not interested. It's really more people like myself going like, this music makes me feel like I'm a teenager again.
I try not to give too much interest to what other people say about our band, but I think for me now, I did read some of it, and it was a little bit of a release, although I think for me it was kind of like we wrote this album for ourselves, and I stick by those comments. I think I don't write music for other people, I write music for myself, and we all do, but it's a great relief to see that it has gone down, I guess, well. I think it's weird. We're at a really weird juncture right now in music, whereby people are more interested about what you do on TikTok than the songs that you release. And I think we really wanted to strip that crap away and just actually write music for people who like music, and forget all the rest of it, because I don't have time for it. And I think this record's gone down really well. It's nice to see people giving it some love, and I'm just hoping that we can continue to do that. Hopefully.
One thing that I want to touch on is, because what really spoke to me, if you will, in a very different way, was I really like the look of the album, and the design that goes into it. There is a little bit of that early 2000s feel maybe, but it's just a classy approach, if you will. I like the color coding, and just the things that other bands these days, because of what you said, like TikTok world and every day needs a new piece of content, might not give a lot of thought about anymore. I'm glad you guys did. how do we interpret the album art? Like, is the person pining for the different life or taking action against it?
No, they're
what's the right
reaching out for it.
interpretation?
They're reaching out for it. I think that was my kind of interpretation of it anyway. And I think it was kind of this like longing to find something else out there. And I think that's where this album comes from in a lot of ways. And that's where we kind of picked up on the idea on the artwork from. And Finlay, who plays guitar in our band, is like, he always spearheads all the artwork stuff and he pulls it all together. And he sent me an email one night with this mock up and I was like, yeah, this is it. Let's go for this. So yeah, it's nice. I kind of like those comments. Yeah. Cause I think it's almost like a bit of an afterthought now for a lot of bands these days. We really wanted to create something that really dragged you in from the moment you looked at it.
What I like about this album is how you guys seem to balance really nicely. Yeah, you know, the songs, sometimes they seem very introspective and others seem to be a lot more macro, if you will, like some kind of commentary. But all these seem to be pretty balanced out. Like, you're not a band that only talks about, hey, here's my personal heartbreak and what have you. Or other bands, we only want to talk about what we think is wrong in the world. You guys seem to always find a bit of a balance of both. Is that just me projecting, or is there some truth to that?
My favorite bands always write songs where you can apply said song into your own life and interpret it in your own way. One band that were really great at doing this are Alkaline Trio, and still are. But, you know, for me, I always wanted to keep things a little open so that people could take music and apply them to their own situations, because I believe in a lot of cases, like, your music's like the soundtrack to my life. If I have something bad happen to me or something good happen to me, I have a song that I remember at that time relating to it. So I think I always like the idea of people being able to utilize their music in that way. I think sometimes, yeah, I mean, some of them are pretty personal, some of them are a little more generic or general, but I always kind of write them from the perspective of not being too specific all the time, because I kind of want people to pick them up and read into them in their own way. You know, I think that's important.
Yeah, at these shows that you've done already, where people come, as you said, knowing all the words to certain songs, were there like some big surprises when people, like fans, come up to you and go like, oh, this song, I really love how it talks to me in XYZ way, and you're like, well, actually I wrote about ABC, not XYZ, but cool.
Yeah, I mean, Goodbye My Friend is the one, I think, where people have been coming up to us and kind of giving us different versions of what they think the song means. And I always think it's fun when things like that happen, because it's a really engaging conversation and it opens up a conversation about music, and you know, for us that's everything. So it's a cool thing. I'm looking forward to it more in Europe now, because I think in Europe fans tend to be a little bit more honest, and they'll be like, I hate this or I really like it, you know, like especially in Germany, like a lot of the time it's just love or hate. There's no like a middle ground. They're like, stop playing this song because it sucks.
Now that you mentioned Germany as a very important market for you guys, which is great because, you know, for rock music, it's the biggest market in Europe, hands down. You guys have focused on the German market, but has that been, if you find the time in between all the touring and what have you, to take a step back, like, is that something that kind of blows your mind, that this Scottish band from, you know, that has been heavily inspired by West Coast American rock music is so popular in Germany?
It still blows my mind every day. You know, like, if I look at our Spotify statistics a lot, and it's always weird for me to see that we're bigger in a European country that's like a few hundred miles away than we are in our own country. I genuinely believe, though, that's down to the fact that Germany does such an incredible job of supporting bands who are up and coming. You know, like, it's one of these things in the UK, unless you're Ed Sheeran, no one cares about you. Or unless you're some sort of fashion-clad tech metal band who wear crop tops, no one really cares. I think it's one of these things where, like, they cut through all of that and they just want to focus on music and supporting bands, and like, they have an incredible history of doing that. And I think it's a really authentic place. You know, if you go to like punk squats or punk clubs in Germany, like, they live and breathe that lifestyle, and it's like, it's such an incredible country. And you know, they buy your records, they buy your merch, they show up early to shows, they want to say hi, they want to hang out and have a beer, they want you to sign everything. You know, they want you to come back and play their city time and time again. And you know, they don't care how big your band is or how many people follow you on the internet. They just, if they like your music, they'll buy it and they'll come support it. And I think my country could do a lot and learn from them, because you know, in the UK it's the complete opposite. No one really cares about your music here. They just care about what you look like or how big of fans you have on social media. It's like a completely different, like, there's nothing authentic about the UK at all.
Yeah. Now, those same Spotify statistics will tell you that, I'm sure you know this, that there's markets like Mexico and other Latin American places where you guys are doing really well too.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand that either.
What can we expect show-wise for stuff in Central America?
Well, we're going to tour the US next year, and I think we'd always said from the start that if we toured the US, or as and when we toured the US, we'd maybe play some shows further south. And I think that's something that we really want to do. It's a part of the world that I've always wanted to go to. And to be honest, like we had this collab with Jose Madero a couple of years ago, and it really started a fan base for us, and specifically in Mexico. And ever since then, it's remained strong, and they've followed everything we've done. So yeah, I don't see why we shouldn't do that. I'd love to be able to go there and play some shows.
When you play shows, and I mean, I hadn't had a chance to be at one of the UK shows that you recently did, but walk me through what to expect from upcoming shows, especially based on the new material, because this is what your new album is, what I would call a single heavy album. And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of songs, not just the singles that were released, that could have been singles, which makes it then always really hard for bands to figure out, okay, you know, if we can play X amount of new songs, which ones are they going to be? So what should we expect from these upcoming shows?
We're going to play all the new songs, and we're going to play a lot of old ones. I think that's kind of where we're in the position now with like headline shows where you can push your timing out. You can do like an hour 30, an hour 45 minutes, and we try to play as long as we can every single night. So I think on the last run we did, there was on the headline shows, we only played I think there was only like 2 or 3 songs off the new record that weren't live. I think this year we're going to just play loads of different stuff. And the other thing as well is we're rehearsing so much as a band right now that it's like we've basically learned our entire back catalogue. So we'll be changing that set list up every day. And I've always wanted to be in a situation where I could do that and not just have like one set for like an entire season of like, well, we can play whatever we want every night now. So it's like we have enough songs to pick, you know, a new set every night for 2 weeks. So we're going to do that. And it's like, I think for me that it's really exciting and like pushing the boundaries of what you can do as a band. We like dropped quite a lot of the gimmicks that maybe like would have held us back before, you know, like using backing tracks to such a big degree. Like it's a thing that everybody kind of does now. We've kind of dropped quite a lot of that, and now it's all like about the live experience and having like, oh look, if I want to extend a section of a song by like 4 minutes to have engagement with the crowd, we can do that and we can have fun with it. And that's really, it's really just been all about getting good as a band and getting tight as a band and working hard at that, so that these next shows we have can be the most fun and entertaining and spontaneous like shows we've ever had, where we're not held by kind of any rules or anything. So I think that for me was really like what we wanted to do this year. I think we've unlocked it, and I'm really excited to share it with a lot of new people.
Is that also first and foremost to keep it entertaining for yourself, or are you like, well, because of all the statistics that we have now and it's very easy to understand what people like and what have you, will you put some thought in, okay, in this place of the world, this city, this crowd is going to want to hear these songs, so let's cater to them? What way are you going there?
I think I think it's just going to depend on how we feel 20 minutes before we walk out on a stage, if I'm honest with you. I don't tend to use statistics to look at anything like that. I think for me, like, it's, if we're feeling it one night, we'll play it. And if someone shouts loudly enough in the audience to hear something, we'll play it. You know, I think or if someone has a conversation with us in the bar before we play and they say something, I want to hear a song, then we'll play it. You know, I think it's like we're one of these bands that just, you know, for me, it's all about how it feels. And if it feels good, then, I mean, God, the last 2 shows we played, we didn't even write a set list. We just went on the stage and did it. and it's like, oh, let's play this or let's play this, and we have a rough idea how it goes, but like there were a few moments there where I gave our drummer a heart attack saying, let's play this, like let's just do it, and we just did it. It's music is supposed to be fun, and it's supposed to be live, and it's supposed to make you feel something, and for me, yeah, that's how we go for it. Yeah.
All right, so now we all know, people that are watching this that are planning to go to one of the shows, come early, buy the band a few drinks, tell them in a very loud voice what you want to hear, and you might be lucky. Awesome. Ross, I wish you all the best with all these upcoming shows and the plans, and I will keep my eyes open here in Canada to see what US shows will be announced, and hope to see you on that run. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. I know these are precious moments in between tours that you want to just chill out.
I've been working all day, so I work full time as well. So I'm working all day. I'm working from my couch. I'm actually about to go watch a documentary called Ken Burns' The Civil War. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to have a nice chilled out night, history and stuff.
There you go. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but it's a fantastic documentary series.
I'm obsessed with that period of history, and my friend gave me this link to a podcast called Last Podcast on the Left, and they were talking about it, and I was like, okay, I really need to watch this because they keep talking about it. And Ken Burns, I watched his series on Vietnam, and this one looked really good, so it came up for free on PBS, and I was like, right, I'm going to watch it. So I'm going to dedicate the next 6 hours of my life to this.
There you go. I'll say Civil War is probably his crowning achievement. So you won't be disappointed. And it's not, and that's not what you're looking for. It's not a Hollywood sensationalistic big boom boom kind of thing, but it's really good. I've watched it multiple times. I'm a big Civil War geek myself, which is weird because I was born in Belgium. But anyway, awesome. Well, have so much fun with that. I mean, I don't know if fun is the right word, but you know what I mean. And I hope to see you guys on the stage very soon. Have a wonderful time.
Appreciate your time. Thank you for having me. Take care.
Okay. You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.